I did notice something out of the ordinary, like a black blob in the ground by the flagpole.
Okay, let's pretend we're at 34 Fairview right now. Okay, this is 34 Fairview. I'm surprised they haven't blocked out their house yet. So there is a street lamp right there. This is the one that he's talking about. The one that's at the end of the driveway, but it's on the other side. Why the fuck is there only one street lamp here? There's no street lamps here. No street lamps here. No street lamps anywhere here. Why is there just one random ass street lamp right over fucking here? So this is where John's body was found. Like roughly, let me go down here more. Shit, man, I'm not even quite sure. Somewhere, there's a fire hydrant right there. Maybe like, I don't know, somewhere around here. Julie Nagle, but honestly, I want to hear from her brother more. I don't really care about Julie Nagle as much.
Whenever you're ready, Mr. Lally.
Thank you.
All right, so I want to get to the part where her brother gets there.
At any point in time, well, let me ask you this. They come sometime shortly around or after midnight, is that fair to say?
Yes.
Okay. And about how long after they arrived, or about what time was it that you left the house for the evening?
I'm sorry, could you repeat the question?
At some point you went home that night?
Yes.
What time was it?
I would say, give or take, like 1:45.
Now, at some point in the evening, let me ask you this. What, if any, sort of plans did you have as far as how you were getting home?
Yeah, I did text my brother to see if he could pick me up on his way home with his friend, just on their way home to come pick me up, which they did.
Which of your two brothers was that?
My brother, Ryan.
So you texted Ryan to see if he could come pick you up?
Yep.
About what time, if you know, did you send that text to your brother about getting picked up?
I'd probably say a little after, probably like 15 minutes after midnight. Yeah, I just mentioned saying my brother's outside. I do remember someone or a few...
I want to hear the answer first.
Just a few people saying, oh, just have your brother come in. So I went outside, and it was my brother in the passenger seat, his friend Ricky.
Thanks, I appreciate that. Thanks, Mattia. Hello, hello.
And then his ex-girlfriend, Heather. I asked them if they wanted to come in. They said no.
I'm going to let that stand, but next question.
I walked down the steps through the little path, and then down the driveway, and they were parked right in front of the driveway.
So they were parked right at the end of the driveway?
Remember the funny thing? I actually forgot correct details when I testified in a murder trial. It's weird. I completely misremembered the whole taser. Made me question my whole reality. You ever get an argument with someone and then you try to go back into the text message to back you up, or like maybe like surveillance footage or anything like that, and you realize it just didn't happen the way that you thought it happened? Yeah, happens a lot.
Yes.
And what kind of vehicle was this that you came up?
It was Ricky's pickup truck, Ford F-150.
No, not Spanish.
And you mentioned that there were 3 people in the truck, is that correct?
Yes.
Where were they seated within the truck when you got?
Ricky was driving his truck, Ryan was in the passenger seat, and then Heather was in the back seat.
You mentioned
Oh, Ryan was in the passenger seat. I thought Ryan was driving.
that Heather is Ryan's ex-girlfriend, is that correct?
Correct.
As you get to the truck, do you recall how it was that you were speaking to your brother Ryan? Was it through an open window, did you open the door, or how were you communicating?
He rolled down his window.
And when you came out to the truck at the end of the driveway, what, if any, other vehicles did you see in the area of the house on Fifth?
Well, before when I went outside, I did notice another vehicle before my brother pulled up. Yeah, it was a black SUV.
And had you ever seen that vehicle before?
No. Yeah, Matt McCabe and Jennifer did offer to drive me home if I didn't want to go home with my brother, so I just stayed and then took their offer.
So you decided you wanted to stay and took them up on their own?
Correct, yes. Well, it was like the SUV wasn't there when my brother was there. It was like before. Like when I was inside, I noticed it. Yeah.
And so at the time that you were talking to your brother in the pickup truck, was the SUV still there?
Wait, what? Oh, because I think she went back and forth twice, right? Sorry.
Like when I was inside, I noticed it. Yeah.
And so at the time that you were talking to your brother in the pickup truck, was the SUV still there?
I don't believe so, no.
And so where was that SUV parked in relation to where the truck was?
So when I noticed, looking out the window, I did notice the SUV in front of the mailbox, and then pulled up a little bit in front of the yard, and then stopped, and then pulled up again towards the flagpole.
So you saw it in sort of 3 different locations at the time that you were seeing it?
Correct, yes.
And again, where were you in relation to the vehicle at the time that you made these observations?
I was inside at the dining room table, looking out the window.
And at any point in time, did you see anybody come out of that?
I did not know.
And at any point in time, did you see any sort of, well, when you came out initially or when you were looking out and when you came out, do you recall anything about the weather and sort of what it was doing at that point?
It was, I would say like flakes of snow, a little dust on the ground.
Oh, little
And so from the
dust.
dust on the ground,
Flakes of snow. Oh, boy.
either the SUV or the pickup truck that Ricky was driving, did you see any sort of like imprints in the snow from tires or anything like that?
I don't recall.
You don't recall if there was that much snow or what it was?
Correct.
Brian Albert Jr. said he looked us out the window and then noticed there were tire tracks that he saw. I'm like, would you really notice that?
And as far as anywhere in and around where you had seen the SUV at either of the 3 spots that you saw it, did you see any sort of like footprints in the snow or in the ground or anything like that? And did you see inside of the vehicle, see anybody inside at any point in time?
No.
Okay, so this is the part where the cross-examination is going to get her for, right?
And you never saw anybody get out of that vehicle at any of the 3 different points where you saw it parked, correct?
I did not know.
When you saw the vehicle parked at those 3 sort of separate different locations, was the vehicle on? Was it running, if you could tell?
I'm not sure. No. It was Matt driving, Jennifer in the front, and then me behind Matt, and then Sarah next to me in the back behind Jen. We were having a conversation, so Jen was kind of facing towards the back, towards me and Sarah. We were talking about making PB and jelly sandwiches because there was some peanut butter and jelly and bread in the car, so talking about that. But yeah.
And so, Ms. McCabe, she's in the front seat, is that right?
Yes.
And she's talking to you and Ms. Levinson, correct?
Yes.
Hey, golf girl.
How is it that she's positioned talking to you with relation to the seat that she's in?
Yeah, I would say she was kind of turned back a little bit towards us in the back seat.
And what I'm asking is, she turned towards sort of the center of the vehicle, or she turned towards the window next to her?
Towards the center of the vehicle.
And you're speaking to her and to Ms. Levinson, correct?
Yes.
Which direction are you facing?
I'm facing towards Sarah and Jen.
And which direction is Sarah facing as you're having this conversation?
Towards me.
And as you drive by home, what, if anything, did you observe?
I did notice behind Sarah and Jen, I did notice something out of the ordinary, like a black blob in the ground by the flagpole.
And from where you were situated in the park, do you know?
Finally. Okay. I was like, there had to have been someone to say that they saw like a black blob or whatever it was. So it's her. That's the conversation that they weren't. Okay. Got it. That's why there were so many objections earlier.
Home, what, if anything, did you observe?
I did notice behind Sarah and Jen, I did notice something out of the ordinary, like a black blob in the ground by the flagpole.
And from where you were situated in the park, do you know sort of what was the lighting like over in that area of the yard that you saw by the flag?
It was pretty dark out, but the snow was kind of heavy at that point, so couldn't really see too much, but...
There was snow coming down at that point?
Yes.
And if you know about where in relation to the flagpole was this black object that you saw?
I'd probably say close to the street, but in their lawn, right kind of in front of the flagpole next to it.
Now, I'm sorry to do this again, but Ms. Gilman, Your Honor, with the court's permission, I would just ask that exhibit number 72 be back up on the screen.
Okay.
No, I'm sorry. I should actually ask for exhibit number 73. Now, Ms. Nagle, if I could ask the area where you saw this black object, can you see that area depicted in the photograph?
Yes.
And if you could, using the laser pointer, direct the jury's attention to where, as specific as you can be, where you observed it. Now, as the vehicle is going by the house, as you make that observation, what, if anything, did you say in the backseat of the car?
I did say out loud, I was like, I think I might have saw something. I'm not kind of sure what it was. But I was also intoxicated drinking, so didn't really know what it was, what I saw. But Sarah was like, "What, Julie?" And I was like, "I don't know what it was." And then that was kind of really it.
Because remember, it was barely any inches on the ground. There's no street lamp there. The snow was coming down, but probably not as much. She's in the back seat. She said she saw a black blob driving by, right? Now, remember, a couple hours later, when Karen's also in the back seat of her friend's car, SUV, I believe as well, Karen, at this point, there's been more inches in the ground and more snow coming down. We saw the visibility on the police body cam, the police dashboard cam, right? And Karen said she saw John O'Keefe in the ground. And 6:30 a.m. was still kind of darkish. So if you believe that Karen saw, John O'Keefe in the ground, it's possible that you might believe that she did see a black blob in the ground as well.
Sort of the end of the conversation in reference to that, is that correct?
Correct, yes.
But no one else saw it.
Okay.
Good. Just one more question. With regard to the object that you saw in that area, the flagpole, can you describe how big an object it was that you saw?
I'd probably say 5 or 6 feet, long, but
And at the time that you're driving by at that point, did you tell what it was?
not quite sure, no. It was just too quick to tell.
But then also remember, John was found face up though, not face down, right? Yeah, John was found face up. They were saying supine position. He was found face up. So you would have saw a black blob, but not his face? Maybe.
Thank you. Nothing further.
Thank you.
Wouldn't you stop the car and say, what the fuck is that? No. If I was drunk, I'd be like, what the fuck is that? I don't know. I don't know. If I just saw like a blob and I, process it as a blob, I'd probably just be like, oh, what the hell is that? Yeah. And she said she was drunk though. So that could, the jury could also be like, oh, well, you were drunk. You weren't really sure what you saw, right? Could have been the berm.
Mr. Nagle?
Thank you, Ron.
All right, cross-examination. So she saw a black blob. Pretty important, okay?
Good afternoon, Ms. Nagle.
Good afternoon.
On January 28th of 2022, you got to 34 Fairview Road at about 6 or 7 p.m.,
Correct.
and you didn't leave until 1:30 or 2 a.m., correct?
1:45 around there, yeah.
Okay. So you were there approximately 8 hours?
I'm not really sure about the math, but I guess so.
A lot of hours.
Yep.
Other than the people who lived at the home and slept there, you were one of the ones to spend the most time there that night, correct?
I'm not sure.
You got there early. You got there early, correct?
Yes.
And you left late.
I don't know when she was interviewed by the cops. I think Yannetti would probably get there. I low-key hallucinate when I'm crossfaded. Oh, crossfaded, I could believe that.
Correct?
Yeah.
And you were inside almost the entire time, correct?
Yes.
So you came in contact with just about everybody who came into that house, correct?
Yes.
And you know that everyone who was in the house that night is a witness in this case, correct?
Yes.
The only time you went outside before you left was when your brother Ryan arrived, correct?
Yes.
And even when you went outside, you stayed on the Albert property, did you not?
Yes, I did.
And you had some contact with your brother out there, correct?
Yes.
And you know that he's a witness in this case as well, correct?
I do, yes.
And despite having contact with all of these witnesses in this case, Trooper Proctor didn't talk to you on January 29th, did he?
No.
Or the rest of January or the whole month of February, correct?
Correct.
He didn't interview you about
Until?
these statements that you're making today until October of 2022, correct?
If that's what it says on paper, yeah.
October 5 of 2022, does that sound right?
I don't know.
It was many months after January 20.
What? Oh, I don't know about this. If she had said she saw the black blob the day John O'Keefe's body was found, or maybe a couple days afterwards, but you didn't say nothing for 9 months? Then how can we rely on your memory? Oh, this is not looking good. At first I was like, okay, she might be something. Maybe she's onto something. Yeah, I don't know. That doesn't look good. You find out that a police officer's body was found on your friend's lawn. You wouldn't think it'd be important to say, hey, I was, when we were leaving, there was like a fucking black bulb out there.
29th, correct?
Yes.
Over 8 months.
This isn't even the good part. This is the good part. There's no way. What else is there? What else is there? Okay, well, wait. Well, let me get there. We're almost there. We're only like a couple minutes behind.
After John O'Keefe was found dead on Brian Albert's lawn, correct?
If that was the time frame, yes.
And when he spoke to you on October 5, Trooper Proctor asked you for the first time to remember the details from 8 months before that, correct?
If that was the time frame, yes.
And you are good friends with Sarah Levinson, correct?
Yes.
Certainly over the last 2+ years, the two of you have discussed what happened on January 28th and 29th, correct?
Yeah.
And you know that Michael Proctor only interviewed you after the defense in this case filed a motion to get Sarah Levinson's name from the DA's office.
Objection.
correct?
The objection sustained. Next question.
And you know.
So I want to know what's
Yes.
going on.
Certainly over the last 2+ years, the two of you have discussed what happened on January 28th and 29th, correct?
Yeah.
And you know that Michael Proctor only interviewed you after the defense in this case filed a motion to get Sarah Levinson's name from the DA's office.
Objection.
correct?
The objection sustained. Next question.
So you've known Brian Jr. since your sophomore or junior year, correct?
Yes.
And you actually graduated Canton High School in 2016, correct?
Correct.
But you've known him since 2014 or 15?
Yes.
9 or 10 years?
Yep.
He's a good friend.
Yes.
He's a close friend of yours, correct?
Yes.
And on January 28th of 2022, you were one of a select group of his friends who went to his house to celebrate his birthday the following night, right?
Yes.
And you don't go to somebody's house whom you graduated high school with 10 years previously to celebrate their birthday if they're just an acquaintance.
Now I'm starting to really get why the defense is kind of confident. Why the defense was confident in their opening statement about the cover-up statements, because there are yeah, there's a lot of really weird, fucky shit from some of these witnesses. And of course, we know about the lead detective, but there's a lot of fucky shit. And when it all comes together, you might have little pieces here and there, but when you throw it all together, it could look pretty fucking bad.
That's correct.
Objection.
I don't know.
I'll let the answer stand.
When you got there, other than Sarah Levinson and yourself, everyone at the house was a member of the Albert family, correct?
Can you rephrase the question, please?
Sure. You and Sarah Levinson are not actually Alberts, correct?
Correct, yes.
But everybody else at the house was when you got there.
No.
You named Brian Albert Jr., correct?
Yes.
Julie Albert?
I did not know.
Nicole Albert?
I did, yes.
Is the conspiracy that the cops killed him and it's a cover-up? I'll talk about the two extremes, I guess. But I mean, it's not extreme because, I'll talk about the two, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Diametrical opposites. How about that? All right. So one is the state, right? State is saying Karen and John had an argument maybe about going to the party, not going to the party. Karen thinks John may be cheating on him. I don't know, maybe some cheating accusations, but whatever it was, they got an argument when they got in the car. They were both maybe like really drunk, and maybe John gets out and Karen like decides to back into him and then she like dips out. Okay. That's like one end, right? The other end is that John went inside the house. Something went down. Now, we don't know. Some of the defense, what they introduced so far through their questioning is maybe Brian Higgins, a close friend of the Alberts, was into Karen. Maybe he was jealous of John and Karen, even though they've been together for like 2 fucking years. But anyways, maybe there was a fight that erupted. Maybe the dog participated in that fight and attacked John or attacked John on their own. Maybe there was some drama going on between Colin and John over Colin's little brother getting yelled at by John before for running across the lawn. I don't know. Maybe something went down with any three of those, right? Or just something just happened and they all just got into a brawl somehow. I don't know. And then they took John's body out and left them on like the very edge of their property line, still in front of like their house, sort of. So those are like the opposites here. But I was thinking maybe there are like lesser extreme versions of those, which would be on the state side. Maybe Karen did it by accident. Maybe she didn't mean to. Maybe she thought he was still alive, because apparently Karen left like angry voice messages afterwards. So maybe she thought he was still alive. She was pissed. Maybe she thought she just like love tapped him with a car or something. I don't fucking know. Maybe she was really drunk. Maybe she doesn't know. And then the less severity of the defensive side would just be like, oh, maybe it was just the Albert family. Something happened. And then everyone else wasn't really a part of the cover up. And then Michael Proctor just happened to be a really shitty fucking investigator. Right. But, I wish I had answers for you guys. I don't fucking know. I don't fucking know. The investigator was shit. People were interviewed months later. Some were, even one person that was, like a witness sort of, they were interviewed last week. Like, what the fuck? Because in order for me to believe the grand conspiracy, which is these, the severe one would be like, oh my God, there's so many people involved, so many agencies, that's a hard time for me to believe, but that's a lot of people that you have to make sure don't fucking open their fucking mouths for the past couple years, right? Or they'd be willing to protect each other, but it's like friends of family members of friends, blah, blah, blah. It's like, would they really go to lengths to do all that? That's why I was thinking, okay, if anyone's involved, maybe it's just the Albert family, because I can see family willing to protect family, especially if it's like in your immediate family. I could see that. I can understand that. Right. But I don't know. I guess I have a hard time believing, like she's saying she saw, because I would imagine people would have been like, oh yeah, we were leaving. I saw a blob, but I didn't think anything about it. I just kept driving, whatever. Right. But she's saying that she saw the dark blob, but that wasn't mentioned until you're in an interview 9 months afterwards. If a police officer's body was found in your friend's yard, I feel like you would be like, fuck, holy shit. Guys, when we were driving, I saw something, and you would tell the police right away, because your friend's father, I don't know if was he retired by then? No, your friend's father was a police officer or retired. I don't care. I don't know what the fuck he was. Couldn't just be like, oh my God, Brian Albert Jr. Let me talk to your dad. Your dad is like in law enforcement, right? Whatever. Let me talk to your dad. Oh my God. Cause like I saw this, I saw that, blah, blah, blah. But did that not happen? Or did she try to do that? And they're like, oh, shush, don't say anything about that. Or I don't know. I don't fucking know. I don't know. Oh my God. I'm so grateful for all the other trials we had where the investigators, police, law enforcement did such an excellent fucking job. Prosecutors, oh my God. Let's not take them for granted. Maybe we were taking them for granted. Because now when I'm like in this case, I'm just like, what the fuck is going on here?
Albert?
Yes.
And you would think that as the trial progresses, you would have more questions answered. I have more questions. Questions and questions and questions. Just mountain loads of them.
Brian Albert Sr. might have been there?
Yes.
And you knew the Alberts well enough to know the names that we just discussed, correct?
Yes.
And in addition to that, the McCabe's were related to the Alberts.
Well, okay, yeah, we haven't. There's a lot of stuff that we haven't gotten into yet. We haven't. The jury has not seen any autopsy photos of John O'Keefe yet, so we haven't gotten to there yet. Definitely, we'll wait for the experts to speak about that, and then we haven't gotten to like other surveillance footages that has been released to the public so far. So, I'm just waiting and chilling.
Correct?
Yes.
And you knew Jennifer and Matt McCabe before that night, right?
I'm sorry, can you?
Yes. Before January 28th of 2022, you knew Jennifer and Matt McCabe.
Yes.
You had been to their home before,
Who's home?
the McCabe's home.
I don't recall.
You'd driven their daughters around, correct?
I have, yes.
And you had actually pet sat for the McCabe's golden doodle, correct?
Correct, yes.
Golden doodle.
Yes.
And so the answer to my previous question is certainly you've been to their home, correct?
Yes.
And their golden doodle was named Bailey, correct?
Yes.
In fact, you knew Jennifer McCabe well enough that you called her by a nickname,
Hi,
correct?
Kiki.
Yes.
What was the nickname that you referred to Jennifer
JJ?
McCabe by?
JJ?
And you knew that JJ was Nicole Albert's sister, correct?
Yes.
Now, on the night of January 28th,
I don't think the jury has seen pictures of his arm. Have they? I don't think so. Which witness would they have showed it? Which witness would they have shown it to for the jury to see? I don't remember that. I don't think so. I don't think they did. No, I don't think they did. Do you guys remember which witness? Was it paramedics? Oh, the scratch. Okay, hold on. Sorry, I remember there was a paramedic that talked about the burrows or the furrows, or I don't know what the fuck they did. The burrows, the furrows, right? Was it with that paramedic? With Nuttall? Paramedic Nuttall, right? And was it only the arm that was shown, or was it just the arm, right? Not like the actual autopsy photos, right? Okay, I think I remember the arm being shown, but not everything else. Yeah, if you want to, Greg, I appreciate it. Thanks, but you don't have to. You're right. It was just the arm. Okay. Yeah. No. You're right. I think I do remember just the arms because they were talking about the furrows, the burrows, or whatever it was that he said.
into the 29th, you saw Brian Albert Sr. After he came back to 34 Fairview, correct?
Yes.
You were on the first floor of that residence the whole night, were you not?
Yes.
And you have a specific memory of Brian Albert Sr. walking Chloe through the first floor of that house, correct?
Yes.
When
Yeah, I think it was with paramedic Nuttall.
Brian Albert Sr. was walking Chloe through the first floor of that house, he maintained control of Chloe's collar, did he not?
He did, yes.
You like dogs, right?
I do.
But you didn't pat Chloe, correct?
I have, yes.
That night.
No.
You've never pet sat for Chloe, correct?
No.
But you did hang out regularly at the Albert home for years because of your friendship with Brian Jr., correct?
Yes.
Which meant that you have had contact with Chloe over the years, correct?
Yes.
You would agree with me that Chloe's a very different dog than Bailey in the Cave's Golden Doodle, correct?
Objection.
Sustain.
Bailey is a friendly dog, is he not?
Objection.
Sustain.
Chloe is not friendly, correct?
Objection.
I'll let you have that. Can you answer that?
Can you repeat the question?
Yes, Chloe is not a friendly dog.
I mean, I would say so, yeah.
It was clear to you that she is not good with people, correct?
I'm not aware.
On January 28th and 29th, while you were in the kitchen dining room area, you'll agree with me
But
that
she agreed that Chloe's not friendly, right?
she is not good with people, correct?
I'm not aware. I'd say so.
Can you answer that?
Can you repeat the question?
Yes, Chloe is not a friendly dog.
I mean, I would say so, yeah.
It was clear to you that she is not good. 28th and 29th,
Okay.
while you were in the kitchen dining room area, you'll agree with me that there was music playing for most of the night, correct?
For a decent amount, yes.
And that area of the house has surround sound speakers.
Yes.
Everybody was in a good mood,
Correct, yes.
talking,
Yes.
drinking,
Yep.
singing,
I don't remember.
dancing.
Yeah.
Where is CrimeCon, or what is CrimeCon? What is it? Where is it? When is it?
And all the action was in the kitchen dining room area, correct?
Yes.
And that was where your attention was mainly focused, was it not?
It was, yes.
Because that's where everybody was.
Yes.
You were not monitoring the basement door, were you?
No.
And you never went down to the basement, correct?
No, I did not.
Prior to January 28th of 2022, you knew who Colin Albert was, correct?
Yes.
You knew that he was your friend Brian Jr.'s first cousin.
Hey, handsome
Correct.
devil.
when you were at 34 Fairview, you did see Colin there, correct?
I did, yes.
You believe that he got there shortly after Nicole Albert, Caitlin Albert, and Julie Albert left the residence, correct?
At some point, yeah.
And you say at some point, that's because you're not sure of the exact time when he got there, correct?
Correct.
You're also not sure of the exact time when he left, correct?
I would say 11:30, 11:45, around there.
He wasn't somebody who was important to you that night, was he?
I would
Wait,
say
When he got
at some point, yeah.
And you say at some point, that's because you're not sure of the exact time when he got there, correct?
Correct.
You're also not sure of the exact time when he left, correct?
I would say 11:30, 11:45, around there.
He wasn't somebody who was important to you that night, was he?
Not really, no.
You weren't paying attention to monitor when he came or when he left, were you?
oh, it's in Nashville. Oh, interesting. May 31 to June 2nd.
No. I said no.
You never physically watched him walk out the door, correct?
I don't remember.
You can't even say which door he walked out, correct?
I don't know.
I just don't know if I could just really believe it because she wasn't formally interviewed until like 9 months later. Like, how would you really know your timelines, right? If she said that, like, oh, it was before we did the countdown to Brian Albert Jr.'s birthday, that would kind of give like a memory to tie it to. But saying 11:30 to 11:45, like, are you sure?
You never saw him get picked up.
I did not know.
You never saw any car arrive for him.
I don't know.
And you never saw how he got out.
No.
Now, on January 29th of 2022, after midnight, your
Oh, cool. Yeah, take some pictures. That sounds really interesting. I only know of Nancy Grace in that name. I wonder, is Vinnie Paulson going to be there? I only know of like law and crime people and court TV people. Nancy Grace, of course, I've heard of because she's huge.
brother Ryan Nagle and you lived in the same home, correct?
At the time, yes.
At about 12:15 to 12:20, you texted your brother Ryan for a ride home, correct?
If that's what the timestamp says, yes.
Do you have a screenshot of that text message?
Somewhere, yes.
Are there any like YouTubers going? Like Emily Baker, Laura, you know, did they go to this?
Did you provide that to any investigator or assistant district attorney?
I don't remember.
Do you recall whether any assistant district attorney or investigator asked you for a copy of that text message?
I don't know.
Is that text message still on your phone?
I don't know.
Did you
Sorry, what text message? Shit. Oh, God. Do we have messaging text messages now?
If that's what the timestamp says, yes.
Oh, is it a text message where the brother texted her? Okay. 2:20, you texted your brother. Okay, gotcha. Okay.
You lived in the same home, correct?
At the time, yes.
At about 12:15 to 12:20, you texted your brother Ryan for a ride home, correct?
If that's what the timestamp says, yes.
Do you have a screenshot of that text message?
Somewhere, yes.
Did you provide that to any investigator or assistant district attorney?
I don't remember.
Do you recall whether any assistant district attorney or investigator asked you for a copy of that text message?
I don't know.
Is that text message still on your phone?
I don't know.
Did you delete that text message?
I don't
Objection, Your
know.
Honor.
So let's move this along, Mr. Nagle.
When you texted Ryan that night, you were contacting him because you thought it was an appropriate time for you to leave, correct?
Yeah.
How long did it take your brother Ryan to get to the Albert home after that text message?
I don't know.
EDB Runkle and Rob will be there, but not as speakers. Oh, okay. I recognize those people.
Was it an hour?
I don't think so, no.
Rob is the lumber, the woodworker, right? Because I think he was the one who talked a lot about the what's it called? Remember when Johnny Depp's bed was broken? The bed frame was broken. Law and Lumber.
Was
Or is that
a
someone
half
else?
hour?
I do not know.
So you
Oh,
have
it
no
is, right?
idea
Okay.
how long it took him to get there and how long you stayed after you texted him, correct?
I don't know, no.
By the time you're texting Ryan, Ms. Nagle, how much do you think you had to drink since 6 or 7 p.m.?
A decent amount?
Would you say that another word for it would be a lot?
No.
What were you drinking that night?
Michelob Ultras.
And how many did you have?
I don't know, I don't remember.
Did you bring your own Michelob Ultras to the party?
I don't know.
You don't remember whether you brought any beer to the party?
I don't know.
Where was the beer?
I either brought it or, I don't know, I don't remember. It was 2.5 years ago.
Where was it within the home?
In the fridge?
You have no memory of like running out of beer that night, correct?
I don't remember, no.
There appeared to be plenty of beer to go around, correct?
For myself, yeah.
Between the time that you texted your brother Ryan and the time he arrived, it's fair to say that you changed your mind about going home with him, correct?
Yes.
You changed your mind while you were still inside the Albert home, correct?
I did not say that, no.
Well, I'm asking you now.
No.
You changed your mind only after you left the residence and went out to talk to him?
Yes.
Yeah, because I was like, if Jen McCabe offered to give you a ride, why not just take that and then text your brother and be like, oh, hey, never mind, Jen McCabe's going to give me a ride. Unless she wanted her brother to come in and hang out with them inside the house, right? Emily's going to be there. Brandy Churchill is going. Ickmel went there last year. There were so many. When this is done, she pulled the website. I'm excited. How much are tickets? Are they expensive? Is it like a 3-day thing? Is it hard to get tickets?
You claimed on direct examination that he was the one that said, why don't you stay longer?
No, that's not what I said.
Who was it that said that you wanted to stay longer?
If myself.
So you told him that you wanted to stay longer, correct?
Yeah. I did.
And when you went
Oh, the
outside,
potatoes are
you
gonna be
heard that
there?
he'd come and his friend, is it Ricky D'Antuono? How do you pronounce the name?
It's Ricky D'Antano.
D'Antuono.
The driver.
Ryan had come in Ricky D'Antano's gray Ford F-150 truck, correct?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
I butchered that. When you went outside, you saw that your brother Ryan was in Ricky D'Antuono's gray Ford F-150 truck, correct?
3-day never standard tickets. Is there like a 1-day ticket that's cheaper? How much are VIP tickets? What? Is this like Coachella or something? It's like Coachella prices. I think isn't Coachella general admission like 400, 300, and then VIP is like 800 or something?
Correct, yes.
He was sitting in the front passenger seat of the truck, correct?
Ryan, yes.
The truck was parallel to the Albert's residence, correct?
Yes.
It was not parked in the driveway.
No.
The truck was facing toward Chapman Street, going up the hill, correct?
Yes.
So Ryan's seat would have been the closest to the property, right? The passenger seat?
I'm sorry, closest to the what?
To the Albert home.
Yes, correct.
You walked down the driveway to get to the truck, correct?
Yes.
His SUV was in the driveway at that point, was it not?
Yes.
And at that point, it's like that. I want to go back, if I can, to when you were inside that, because you had testified that when you were inside, you looked out the window and you saw a different view, correct?
I did, yes.
The black SUV.
Yes.
And you've testified that you saw that from within the house, you saw that black SUV move 2 times, correct?
More than 2.
So it was at first parked near the mailbox,
Yes.
and you saw it move forward, right?
Yes.
And then you saw it move forward again to near the flagpole, correct?
Yes.
And was there a third time that you saw it move?
I saw it pull up, stopped, pulled up again, stopped, pulled up again by the flagpole, stopped. That's all I saw.
All right, and that was all while you were inside the house, correct?
Correct, yes.
When it was pulling up like that, Ms. Nagle, it wasn't going 80 miles an hour, correct?
It was not, no.
It wasn't going 50 miles an hour, correct?
I mean, I didn't have a radar gun on me, but no.
It was going at a safe speed, correct?
Yeah.
It wasn't going a very long distance, correct, each time?
No.
It's a matter of several feet, correct, adjusting its position?
Just pulled up and stopped a few times.
Right. And as you saw it pull up and stop a few times from within the home, its direction was always forward, correct?
From what I saw, yes.
You never saw that car back up, correct?
No.
You certainly never saw it speed at a crazy pace backwards, correct?
Objection.
Objection sustained.
Now, I'd asked you about the text messages that you had with your friend Ryan, and you could not recall whether any
I mean, okay, the state prosecutor must have something up their sleeve or something, because how are they getting Karen for like intentionally killing John O'Keefe? Because if Karen and John were in the car, they were arguing, they must have seen, maybe they didn't see people going in and out of the house, or sorry, maybe they didn't see someone going inside of the house. Maybe they didn't see the cars in the driveway. It just doesn't make sense to me why you would want to murder your boyfriend in front of someone else's house, and you know that they're like law enforcement, and then just leave him there. That's weird to me too. Unless she was like really fucking drunk, was an accident. I don't know. There's no solid story in my head. There's no solid like. It's all just kind of like maybe this, maybe that, possibly this, possibly this. I don't know. Kind of weird.
investigator or assistant district attorney asked you for screenshots of that, correct?
My friend or my brother?
Did I say friend?
You did, yes.
Thank you for correcting me. I did mean your brother Ryan. Thank you. And I appreciate the fact that you're paying attention. At least one of us is.
Yeah.
So I asked you about the screenshots of the text message.
No, but like, how do they know that she did it intentionally? Like, I don't know. I feel like we're in day 11. Or I guess we'll get to it at some point. But how were they able to hammer her? How were they able to charge her with intentionally killing John O'Keefe? They must have something up their sleeve that we just have to wait for.
Just that you had with your
Hey, Mama
brother
Jama.
Ryan, and whether any investigator or assistant district attorney had asked you for them, correct?
I don't remember.
Didn't remember, right. But somebody did ask you for a screenshot, correct?
Oh, that right. That was mentioned in the opening statement. Okay, so they'll probably have an expert to testify about that. But the car going over 60 feet at 24 miles per hour. Okay. Hey, Aaron, how are you doing today? How's it going?
Yes.
What was that?
JJ McCabe.
And by JJ, you mean Jennifer McCabe?
Correct, yes.
When JJ asked you, do you remember when it was that JJ, Jennifer McCabe, asked you for a copy of those screenshots?
I do not remember, no.
Did you provide them to Jennifer McCabe?
I did, yes.
Did Jennifer McCabe, when she asked you to provide her with those screenshots, claim that she was an investigator in this case?
Objection.
You can answer that.
Do you mind repeating that, please?
Or when Jennifer McCabe, or as you called her, JJ, asked you for screenshots of the text messages that you had with your brother Ryan, did Jennifer McCabe tell you that she was investigating this case?
No.
And you have no memory of providing those screenshots to any investigator other than Jennifer McCabe, correct?
I don't remember, no.
Oh, she gave it to Jen McCabe. Okay, gotcha. Because I'm like, how does the defense know about her screenshots then if none of it was ever provided? Okay.
Okay. Now, when you're ultimately leaving the residence, it's about, I think you said 1:45 a.m. is your best guess?
Yes.
You walked out which door?
The front door.
And that would be the one to the left, right? The real front door of the house.
Yes, correct.
That door faces right to the front lawn, correct?
Yes.
You left with Jennifer McCabe, Matthew McCabe, and Sarah Levinson, correct?
Correct.
And you all went out the same door, correct?
I know what door I went out. I don't know about, it could have been. I don't know if they went through the side, but yeah.
Fair to say that walking out the front door of that house, you saw no body on that front lawn in front of you, correct?
When I walked out?
Correct.
No.
None of the other three people yelled out that they saw a body, correct?
Correct.
You got into Jennifer McCabe's vehicle, correct?
Yes.
And you were seated behind the driver, correct?
Yes.
And the driver was Matthew McCabe, correct?
Correct.
Jennifer McCabe was in the front passenger seat.
Yes.
And Sarah Levinson was sitting next to you behind the front passenger, correct?
Yes.
Matthew McCabe backed the car out of the driveway and then headed up toward Chapman Street, correct?
Yes.
That meant that the passenger side of the vehicle was closest to the Albert home, correct?
Yes.
So that meant that Sarah Levinson and Jennifer McCabe were in the seats that were closest to the Albert home, correct?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
Sure. As Matthew McCabe was driving that vehicle alongside the Albert property
Yeah,
line,
because she was sitting behind Matt.
Jennifer McCabe in the front passenger seat and Sarah Levinson in the rear passenger seat were the closest two people to the Albert home, correct?
Yes.
And as the car passed in front of the Albert home, you saw no tire tracks in the snow, correct?
I don't remember.
Right.
I know. I can't wait to hear from Jen McCabe. Honestly, I don't know. I wanted to hear. I really wanted to hear from Colin, but I'm just like, Colin's just gonna say he left. Okay, I gotta hear from Jen McCabe. Jen McCabe. That's a huge fucking one right there. And then the other friend that was with Karen Reed. And also, I would love to hear from Karen Reed as well. Love to hear from her.
Now to have seen a black object in the snow, correct?
Yes.
But I'm more excited for Jen McCabe.
Object is the term that you used when you were finally interviewed about this matter, correct?
A black object, yes.
Right. You never before ever told any investigator that what you actually saw was a black blob, correct?
I don't remember.
And you also never, ever told any investigator that this black object that you described was actually 5 feet or 6 feet long, correct?
Correct, yes.
The very first time you're now mentioning this testimony that this black object, as you describe it, was actually 5 or 6 feet long was just today, after 12 noon on May 14th of 2024, correct?
Lally asked me how big it was, so I just...
What? Lolly said what now? Sorry, I tuned in at the wrong time. Lolly asked me how big it was. Sorry. Okay. I was reading the chat. I get distracted.
Yes.
Right. You never before ever told any investigator that what you actually saw was a black blob, correct?
I don't remember.
And you also never told the tire tracks in the snow, correct?
I don't remember.
Right. You claim now to have seen a black object in the snow, correct?
Yes.
Object is the term that you used when you were finally interviewed about this matter, correct?
A black object, yes.
Right. You never before ever told any investigator that what you actually saw was a black blob, correct?
I I don't remember.
And you also never, ever told any investigator that this black object that you described was actually 5 feet or 6 feet long, correct?
Correct, yes.
The very first time you're now mentioning this testimony that this black object, as you describe it, was actually 5 or 6 feet long was just today.
Today,
After
okay.
12 noon on May 14th of 2024, correct?
Lally asked me how big it was, so I just told him right now, yeah.
Yeah, Lally, when you say Lally, you mean Mr. Lally.
Yes, Mr. Lally, correct, yes.
Mr. Lally just asked you during this trial, again,
Yeah.
right before this jury. That's the first time you've ever been asked or ever given an answer as to how big that object was, correct?
Not necessarily, no.
Hi, good guy. How are you doing
Did you
today?
any report
What's
that
up?
was taken when the investigators spoke to you regarding this case before taking the stand today?
No,
You've never testified in a grand jury regarding this case, correct?
correct.
You've never testified in any hearing regarding this case, correct?
In this hearing, in this case,
Besides today.
No grand jury, no federal. Really? Okay.
And you would agree with me.
No, was the grand jury. Oh no, that's not public, is it? Grand jury stuff. It's the I'm getting grand jury mixed up with preliminary hearing.
That it is nowhere on record that this black object that you talk about was ever 5 or 6 feet long prior to telling the jury that today.
Objection. You have to ask that differently, Mr. Unity.
Today, this afternoon, is the first time that you've provided testimony or information to any official regarding this case that the object was 5 or 6 feet long.
no,
I'm sorry?
no.
Who did you tell prior to today?
About what?
Okay, I thought we were talking about the fact that you've now testified that this black object was 5 or 6 feet long. You recall that?
Today, yes.
And my question to you was, you've never mentioned that this black object was 5 or 6 feet long until the last hour or so when Mr. Lally questioned you about it, correct?
Yes.
Now, when you were passing the property, you did not think it was a body.
At the time, no.
So if Lolly, if she never mentioned the size, why would Lolly ask her how big was it? I feel like Lolly, that made it even more worse for your witness. Lolly shouldn't have asked how big it was. Lolly should have been like, oh, you saw that? Okay. Okay, that's right. Let's move on. Because introducing the 5 to 6 feet long is weird because why wouldn't she mention that before, right? Why wasn't that asked before? Oy, oy, oy.
You claim that you told everyone in the car that you saw something, correct?
Correct.
And your friend Sarah
Yeah, I tried getting some of the other court docs for this case, but I couldn't find them. I don't know if I was just like, I just couldn't find it or if their court website was just not working, but I wasn't able to get any of the court docs for this. Just whatever I found on Google.
said what? Or something to that effect, correct?
Correct.
And there was no further conversation after that, correct?
Not that I can remember. No.
And you didn't think that it was a person who was in trouble, correct?
Objection.
Did you think that? At what time, Mr.?
When you were leaving the property, after leaving the house at 1:45 a.m. and getting into the McCabe vehicle and passing the Albert lawn, you did not think that you saw a person who was in trouble, correct?
No.
Or a person that may have needed help, correct?
I don't know, no.
We should have to
And
go
you
soon.
were
Hold
right
on.
there, correct? Passing the property?
I was passing the property,
Not
yes.
as close to the property as your friend Sarah Levinson, but you were in the back seat on the driver's side, correct?
Correct.
And you were in a car such that if you thought that you saw something that could have been a person, all you had to do was tell the driver, correct?
Objection.
Sustained.
Did you tell the driver that you saw somebody who was in trouble?
Well, I said it out loud in the car.
So is it your testimony now that you said out loud in the car, there's a
Aaron says, to be honest, I think Karen did hit him. I wonder if he hit his head on the fire hydrant, maybe stood up, walked, passed out, and then have no proper evidence. There'd be no way driven. Because I was thinking, like, okay, what if Karen, like, slight tapped him, he fell over, got, like, a thing on the back of his head, Chloe came out, jumped the fence, attacked him. Like, I don't know. I was like, what if it's just, like, an amalgamation of, like, different shit just happening to him? Or what if it's like a third party that hasn't even been named in the trial? What if it's just someone else? I don't fucking know. It's such a mystery. If only there was a ring camera footage, surveillance, anything. Ugh.
person who's in trouble.
That's not what I said, no.
You didn't mention a person at all in the car, correct?
No.
You did not tell Matthew McCabe, hey, stop the car, correct?
I did not know.
If you had seen a person in the snow lying there, you would have done something about it, correct?
Objection.
Sustained.
You didn't ask Matthew McCabe to stop.
No.
You didn't ask him to back up.
Nope.
You didn't ask him to check on whatever it was.
Objection, Your Honor.
I'll allow that.
No.
You had your phone with you, correct?
Yeah.
Your phone was working, correct?
I don't remember.
You used that phone to text your brother.
Hello. Hi.
An hour and a half before.
Are you testifying today that your phone was completely out of charge?
I don't remember, no.
Text your good friend Brian Albert Jr. to tell him that you saw somebody lying on his front lawn?
Did I text him
Yes.
that night?
As you are supposedly seeing this black object, in the
Objection.
immediate aftermath of that, did you text Brian Albert Jr. to tell him about that black object?
So in that form, it's sustained. Ask it differently.
Well, because she thought it was
You had your
nothing.
friend
and she
Sarah
was drunk
Levinson
and
with
just
you,
knocked
correct?
it off.
I did in the car, yes.
You knew she was a nurse, correct?
Yeah.
You didn't tell your friend Sarah that you just saw somebody lying in the snow during a blizzard who might need some help, correct?
I did not know.
That Brian Jr.'s father was a police officer, correct?
Objection, Your Honor.
So let's move this. Are you just about done with this line of questioning? I'll give you a little bit more.
There's a couple more questions.
Okay,
I'm
go ahead.
done. You knew that he was a police officer, correct?
Yes.
And obviously a first responder as a police officer, right?
Yeah.
And you knew that that was Jennifer McCabe's brother-in-law, correct?
Yes.
And Jennifer McCabe was in the car with you, correct?
Yes.
You didn't tell Jennifer McCabe or JJ to call her brother-in-law.
Karen's responsible for his death. She even admitted it. Yeah, the thing that stands out the most so far about Karen Reed and what the state has presented is multiple witnesses saying, Karen saying that I hit him, or did I hit him? So that's the biggest thing that's had stood out to me so far. But subsequently, there's just been a lot of there's just been a lot of fuckery, I guess, that has just been happening here and there and here and there that maybe we'll get to at some point with the expert testimonies. There has to be something up the prosecutor's sleeve. But I would say, like, initially it was like, yeah, it was starting pretty strong with the I hit him, did I hit him, I hit him, did I hit him? But I don't know. Now we're just kind of like, okay, I'm just kind of a little disappointed, you know? People were interviewed months later. People were interviewed way later. People were interviewed together. I don't know. Just all around, this investigation just seemed really, really bad.
Correct?
No.
The fact of the matter is, you did nothing, right?
Yeah.
And that's because you did not see a body on that lawn, correct?
Objection.
Is that true? Can you answer that?
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question?
You didn't see a body on that lawn.
I mean, I don't know what I saw, but I saw an object.
You were drinking for hours.
Is that a question?
Yes, you were drinking for hours, is that correct?
Yeah.
And you were intoxicated as you were leaving that home.
Objection.
Were you?
Yes.
You were drunk, right?
Some would say, yeah.
You would say.
Yeah.
You believed that except for Matt McCabe, who was driving, everybody in the car was drunk, right?
Objection.
I don't know.
I'm going to let that answer stand.
You have previously testified, I'm sorry, strike that. You have previously given a statement indicating that you believe that everybody in that car except for Matthew McCabe was drunk. Do you deny that?
I don't remember at this moment.
All right. You told investigators that when Brian Albert Jr. called you the next morning and you found out about the tragedy the previous night, you, quote, put two and two together, correct?
I did, yes.
And when you put two and two together, you did not call the county police, correct?
I did not know.
Not call the state police, correct?
Nope.
Not call
Oh,
the
okay. So
district
she did put the 2 and 2 together. Okay.
attorney's office.
No.
You would agree with me that you just sat on this revelation, correct?
I would.
Objection, Your Honor.
Okay, that's sustained in that form.
And you were not interviewed by any investigator in January, February, March, or any time over the spring or summer of 2022, correct?
I don't remember the time frame, but not right after, no.
And when an investigator finally spoke to you, it was Michael Proctor, correct?
Correct.
He was the one who took your statement on October 12th of 2022, correct?
If that was the date and time, yes.
And that was over 8 months after you were driving past the Albert home at around 2 a.m. while you were drunk and supposedly seeing some black object, correct?
Before 2 a.m., yes.
And you know, Ms. Nagle, that as of October of 2022, the defense had, in this case, had publicly announced that
Objection, Your Honor.
saw
All
a body on that
right. So that question's improper. I'm going to strike that question.
What was he going to say?
No further questions.
All right.
So we're going to break. I have to bring you back tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay. So jurors, please do not discuss this case with anyone. Don't
Sorry,
do
did you say
any
I have no
independent
further
research or
questions?
investigation
Sorry, I
into
missed
this
that
case.
part.
If you have, do not.
So strike that question.
Publicly announced that
Objection, Your Honor.
saw
All
a body on that
right. So that question's improper. I'm going to strike that question.
No further questions.
All right.
So we're going to break.
Okay, no further questions. She's like, oh my God, the cross-examination is over. Thank fucking God. Okay, well, let's see if Lolly will patch things up in redirect. We'll see. Oh boy, yeah, that was. I actually thought it would have been more heated between Caitlin, Albert. But yeah, the cross-examination was definitely way more heated with her. It's because I didn't know what information she had. I thought she would just go up there and just say that, like, yeah, I went outside, told my brother that I'm good. I saw a black SUV, and then that's it. I went inside. That's all. But I didn't know that she saw a black blob when she was leaving with the other 3 people. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, the issue that the jury might have is that, oh, okay, well, like, why did you not say that before? Why, wasn't until 8 months until you were in a interview with Michael Proctor that you mentioned it? But I don't know, maybe there's text messages. Maybe she did try to mention it earlier and then it just, because I think she said she texted Jen McCabe about some stuff. So I wonder, maybe she told Jen immediately afterwards or something, or what did her and Jen discuss about? I'm gonna have to re-listen to that. I was reading the chat a lot today. He was saying no one interviewed her after the defense publicly stated the prosecution has no witness. Wait, he was saying, okay. All right. Yeah, that was a lot. So do you guys think Jen McCabe's going to come on tomorrow? Oh, you know what? Probably not, right? It's probably going to be her brother. And I wouldn't be surprised if Lolly called the other 2 people that were in the brother's car. Because I'm trying to think, when are we going to get to McCabe? Because he's moving through all the family members in like clumps. So it's probably going to be her brother, the other people that were in the car, and then maybe Jen McCabe, right? Maybe Jen McCabe. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I have to go. I have someone who's here to come look at windows and stuff like that. So I can't really hang around, but it was nice being here with y'all. I appreciate listening to you guys about, what your thoughts are about the case so far. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I appreciate y'all. We posted the cross-examination of Caitlin Albert. If you haven't seen that, that's been posted up there. And the cross-examination of her father. And yeah, interesting case. Star Mood Dog, thank you so much for hanging out. Go Lucky. I don't know. I have to get ready and stuff, but I might try to stream on Twitch. Yeah. Okay. I did hear about that. Yeah. Jen asked for the screenshots of her and her brother. Yeah, I heard about that. All right, y'all. Well, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I hope you guys have a great day. Take care. And I will see you guys tomorrow. I don't know if I'm going to cover this live tomorrow. I might just do like a late one. We'll see. I just want to listen to Jen McCabe. I just want to hear from Jen McCabe. I want to hear from her so bad. And I want to listen to the experts, okay? I want to listen to the experts. Maybe we get some more bartenders and get the receipts. Maybe someone to identify the glassware. I don't know. But guys, thank you so much for hanging out. Y'all have a good one. Take care. And I will see you guys later. Feel free to join the Discord if you like. We do have a true crime section. If you want to post anything about this case or anything about any other true crime stuff, feel free to join. And then Discord also has other topics as well. So it's not just true crime stuff. You could also chat about other things. So I hope you guys have a good one. Bye. See ya. Oh, hi, Chunky. Bye, Chunky. Was you here earlier? See you guys. Bye.